Hey there, welcome to the Matrix, real talk in the Matrix. And today we're going to talk about the top 6 challenges that are faced by women of color in business. You know, women who are entrepreneurs and business owners, myself included. So, women of color, despite the fact that we are the largest and fastest growing group of women-owned businesses, we face some pretty big challenges. And to put it into perspective, there's more than 1.5 million businesses owned by Black women. And according to the 2016 State of Women-Owned Businesses report, 8 out of every 10 businesses started since 2007 were launched by women of color. That's a huge number. To break it down a little bit more, you want to think about this. In the United States, 11 businesses are started every single day. And of those 11 businesses, 9 are women. And of those 9, 6 are started by a woman of ethnicity. Whether it be Latinx, whether it be Black, or whether it be Asian, whatever that your ethnic group is. So there's 6 top things that I want to talk about, and so the first one is biases in the business world, and that might not make sense to a lot of people who aren't women of color. But one of the things is that there's a prejudgment as we walk into the room because of the systemic racist system that we have, and people don't want to talk about it, and it becomes very uncomfortable for them simply because, you know, a lot of people will say, you know, well, I don't see color, you know, I don't operate like that. The thing about it is, it doesn't necessarily have to be you, but there's a preconception and a notion that we don't belong in this place before we walk into the door, so we have to deal with that. There's a lack of representation. True enough that we're the fastest growing ethnic group that start businesses, but we don't see them on the platforms, and we don't hear about them unless we go out and seek them. In other words, if you're not looking specifically for a Black business in a specific genre, you probably wouldn't even know that it exists. Networking challenges. There's a lot of networking groups, but the networking groups belong to the good old boy club, as we call it. There's so many doors that can be open, but they're not open to us specifically. And when I say us, I don't even mean us as Black women, but I just mean us as women in general. The good old boy club has shut us out, wherein the guys, they have access to networks and funds and money, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, that women don't have access to. The other challenge is lack of mentorship. So again, not that there aren't women who are out there willing to mentor, but mentorship in an ethnic way is different from mentorship in the way of the Anglo. And I say that let me explain what I mean. In my business, when women come to me and say, you can do this or you can do anything that you want, sure enough, they mean it with good intent. The problem with that is that they don't walk the same fine line as we do. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be real and put this at you in this way. When a white woman walks into a door with a prospectus, they're received differently than women of color. Again, whether it be your Latinx group, whether it be your Black group, whether it be your Asian group, they're received differently. Therefore, they don't get the same step up unless they're, I guess the word would be forceful, or as forceful as people like myself. The mentorship doesn't come because in our community, or should I say in my community, when I was taught, how to get ahead, my topic was you get ahead of everybody. Okay? Let me explain that some more. When they told you that you need to get ahead of everybody and do better than everybody and keep everything to yourself away from everybody, that everybody included the brown like you. So when I see another black woman, another ethnic woman, the concept was not so much for me to do better than her, but just to do better in general. So that meant stepping over her. That meant not holding her hand. That meant not showing her what you were doing. That meant not explaining to her how you got to where you were going. We have this saying, and we joke about it, but it really isn't funny, is that we laugh about the other ethnic groups. You see East Indians, they get together and they help each other out. The Asians, they get together, they help each other out. The Hispanics, they get together, they help each other out. And they'll do things, they'll live 5, 6, 7 in a house if they have to. They put one person out at a time, teaching them how to hone their business, how to grow in their business until each person is out. In my community, sad enough to say, and again, these are things that nobody wants to talk about. And it's not everybody that's doing it either. But you have the group that will not only knock you down while you're on the ladder climbing, should the ladder fall, they'll break the rounds in the ladder so that you can't get up and climb again. So that's what I mean when I say lack of mentorship. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It just simply means that it happens and we don't talk about it. Lack of access to capital and funding. Because of the way how the world works, you and I both know that the ethnic community is not, it is credit challenged. Therefore, for me to walk into a conventional bank and ask for help, it's like going to the ice cream store and asking for rice, if that makes sense to you. So what we need to be able to do is to find, whether it be conventional or non-conventional ways to grow, find capital and funding for our businesses. And what that means is educating ourselves, having financial and wealth management, having financial and wealth education so that we can understand what it takes in order to be able to walk into that conventional place and say, hey, I have a plan. This is my fiscal outlook, and this is where I want to go in my business, and be accepted with those capital investments and funding. And depending on where a person lives, there's a lack of support from other ethnic groups. For instance, so where I live in Tucson, Arizona, and the demographics of Tucson, Arizona is 3% Black, 3% Asian, 13% white, and everybody else is either Latinx or Native American. When you live in a demographic like that and you have a Black-owned business, you depend on the other races, and I'm not trying to make this a racist thing. I am being very real about the challenges that Black women find in their businesses. If you live in a white neighborhood, you will find that it will be the journey to grow your business will be different than if you live in a diverse neighborhood wherein people, the need of your product is wanted by every single person versus you. Okay, simplify. If I'm a Black woman and I'm a hairdresser and I do braids and I do weave and I do black hair and I live in a white neighborhood, chances are that your business is not going to grow, if that makes sense. So again, those are some of the things that we face in as Black women in businesses. But one of the things that I want to say to you as an ethnic woman myself is keep pushing. Know what you want. Know who you need to talk to. Find the people who are the best at what they do and ask them to help you. Key, asking for help. You can't do it alone. You shouldn't have to do it alone, and you shouldn't try to have to do it alone. So if you want to find out any more information about how to ask for what you want and get it, how to ask for it unapologetically, how to push forward in your business, and you don't have to be brown like me, just a woman in general in business who is doing the things that she wants to do, and finding those stops and finding a way to get past those stops, give me a call. 480-269-0416. Matrix Media Consulting Group. My name is Alejandra Richards, CEO, founder of the Women in Business Conference.